My beloved child, pause for a moment and feel the seriousness of what I am about to tell you. You left even me without words. My child, do you understand what that truly means? I am the one who sees the ending from the beginning, who shaped the mountains and commanded the oceans, and who knows every thought before it is spoken. Yet when I looked at you during the last season, I was moved in a way you cannot imagine. The enemy attempted to destroy you, not because you were flawless or because your life was free from problems, but because of what was discovered inside you. Do not scroll away. Do not delay. This truth must be spoken now. If you hurry through this moment, you may miss the revelation heaven has prepared for you. This is not entertainment. It is not an accident. This is not simply another message. It is a divine interruption in your plans. I intended this to stop you. I deliberately directed your steps here. I intentionally allowed your eyes to settle upon this moment in the spiritual realm. Something extraordinary has been discovered about you. While you were occupied with surviving and making it through each day, heaven was studying your heart. Angels watched you continue moving forward. The enemy observed you closely, hoping you would collapse. But what was uncovered within you astonished everyone, including those who doubted you. 99% of people will never receive this message. But you were selected to hear it. Not because you are superior to anyone else, or because you have done everything correctly. You were chosen because your heart proved that it could carry revelation without becoming fearful or proud. Many people say they desire truth, but only a few can bear it. Many want to be chosen, but very few are willing to endure the process that being chosen requires. You continued. You are not like most people. You are not insignificant. You were not placed upon this earth accidentally. From the moment I created you, I placed something within you that cannot easily be destroyed. There is a depth inside you that you may not yet completely understand. You possess strength that has even surprised you. When life pressed heavily against you, something within you refused to break. That refusal was not stubbornness. It was strength I placed within you long before you were born. This moment was already arranged. Before you took your first breath, committed your first mistake, or experienced your first disappointment, I knew a day would come when I would reveal this truth to you. I knew there would be a season when you would begin questioning your value, your calling, and whether your life mattered at all. But I also knew the moment would arrive when I would pull back the curtain and reveal what had been hidden about you. If you fail to pay attention now, the revelation of your true identity may take longer to unfold. This is not a threat. It is an invitation. Lean closer. Do not dismiss this as emotion. Do not assume it is coincidence. You asked me for clarity. You asked me to show you who you truly are. Now, I am answering you. I am about to reveal what was discovered inside you and explain why it changes everything at this exact moment. But first, you must silence the voice, saying, "This cannot be about me. It is about you." Yes, you, the person who nearly surrendered but did not. You who wept behind closed doors yet continued showing kindness to everyone else. You who felt unseen but still chose honesty. You who felt exhausted yet continued moving. Even I was left speechless, because when everything else began falling apart, the deepest part of you remained unbroken. When betrayal arrived, you refused to become like the person who wounded you. When delay forced you to wait longer than expected, you did not curse me. Even when loneliness whispered lies, you never completely surrendered to hopelessness. There were moments when you came close to breaking. On nights when your faith felt weak, something inside you continued drawing you back toward me. You believed you were barely surviving, but heaven was documenting every effort you made. While you thought no one was watching, I was studying your heart carefully. What I discovered was rare. It was not perfection. It was not flawlessness, but it was rare. When convenience disappeared, I discovered loyalty. I discovered faith that flickered but refused to die. I discovered humility where pride could have grown. Even after you were wounded, compassion remained alive within you. That combination is uncommon. That is why most people will never hear this truth. Many people abandon everything when pain arrives. Many become bitter when testing begins. When silence lasts too long, many walk away. But you never completely left. You assumed that your small acts of obedience meant nothing. You thought no one noticed the moments when you quietly did what was right. You considered your calmness to be weakness when you wanted to defend yourself. But it was strength. It reached deeply inside you. It revealed that something greater was growing beneath the surface. Declare, I stand boldly in faith. You are not like most people. If you are claiming every promise God has spoken over your life, then you carry spiritual weight. There is an ability within you that you have not properly valued. The enemy recognized it before you did. That is why the attacks seemed personally designed. That is why the pressure felt unusually intense. That is why hopelessness attempted to cover you like a heavy cloud. He wanted you to forget your identity before you discovered it. But hardship cannot remove what I placed within you. Disappointment cannot erase what I wrote upon your spirit. What was revealed during this past season is that you possess the endurance required to carry greater responsibility. You have a humble spirit capable of handling blessing. You possess the depth required to carry revelation. This truth must be released now because you must understand who you are before entering the next season. You cannot move forward while believing you are insignificant. You cannot carry what I am preparing to give you while believing your life has no importance. Do not delay. Do not scroll away from this calling. Stop hiding your identity. This revelation is not intended to enlarge your ego. It is meant to deepen your trust in me. My child, even I was left speechless by what you did. Not because everything you did was perfect, but because of the determination you showed. You survived what was designed to silence you. The season you endured was meant to expose weakness, yet instead of collapsing completely, you developed deeper roots. Next, I am going to reveal something that will transform the way you understand your past, your present, and your future. The truth about you can no longer remain hidden. Once you understand it, you will never view yourself the same way again. My beloved child, you moved through this season without realizing what was being examined. Now I will reveal what was discovered about you within the unseen world. While you lived each day and struggled to hold yourself together, heaven watched your heart carefully, the deepest part of you that you believed no one could truly see. Heaven was not observing your appearance, your achievements, or the strength you showed publicly. I examined your heart when everything around you became silent. I studied it when your prayers appeared unanswered. I looked closely when people you trusted disappointed you. I looked beyond your outward reactions and examined what was truly happening inside. What was discovered there caused heaven to tremble. You believed you were barely surviving. You thought you were weak. You believed your tears proved that you lacked strength. But when heaven examined you closely, something entirely different was revealed. There was hidden strength inside you. It was not loud, arrogant strength. It was quiet strength that could not be destroyed. When pressure increased, your core did not collapse. It bent, it trembled slightly, but it refused to break completely. Even while uncertain, you continued whispering my name. You continued reaching for me. Even when you felt abandoned by me, your persistence revealed something extraordinary about your spirit. The enemy was shocked by your loyalty under pressure. He expected you to walk away immediately. He believed your sorrow would become bitterness. He expected confusion to turn into rebellion. Instead, you battled through your pain while continuing to hold on to me. That surprised him. He examined your vulnerable places and assumed you would fall too far to recover. But you did not. You have no idea how carefully your actions were being observed. Every time you selected calmness instead of anger, it mattered. Every time you chose patience over frustration, it made a difference. Every time you chose integrity instead of compromise, heaven noticed. Even when surrendering would have been easier, those decisions were not insignificant. They revealed the spiritual depth within you during difficult seasons. Your faith was exposed. Before this season, you assumed your faith was weak because it was accompanied by strong emotions. But faith is not measured by feelings. It is measured by endurance. Even while trembling, your faith remained. When comfort and happiness disappeared, a shaking faith was still faith. When answers did not arrive quickly, you continued praying. When evidence was limited, you continued trusting. When hope seemed dangerous, you kept hoping. That revealed what truly existed within you, real faith, not religious performance or an outward display. On nights when you cried, you considered yourself weak. Heaven did not see weakness. Heaven saw surrender. There were moments when constant effort left you exhausted. Heaven did not see failure. Heaven saw perseverance. At times, you questioned me, but you did not curse me while asking those questions. Your connection with me remained intact. You struggled, but you stayed. My beloved child, heaven was deeply moved by your perseverance. This is not imagination. Your faithfulness during hardship was recognized within the unseen realm. When you resisted the temptation to give up completely, your spirit received honor. You did not hear people celebrating. You did not feel immediate joy, but there was recognition. Please support our channel. We are here to make your life happier and strengthen your faith in God. You may donate through Super Thanks if you feel led to do so. You did not recognize how much spiritual growth was occurring within you. You focused heavily on everything you lacked. You compared yourself with people who appeared louder, stronger, and more confident. You believed you were behind. You felt weak because you had fallen so far. You could see limited outward progress, but you were unable to recognize the internal transformation. Growth is often invisible at the beginning. Fruit cannot appear in the light until roots have developed beneath the ground. When circumstances became worse, your roots traveled deeper. You learned to depend on me rather than applause. You learned to desire my approval instead of the approval of other people. You learned how to remain present within pain instead of immediately escaping it. That is spiritual maturity, and it was quietly forming within you. You thought you were weak because the pain affected you deeply. But sensitivity is not weakness. It demonstrates depth. The fact that disappointment affected you reveals that your heart is still alive. Your faith is honest because you confront doubt rather than pretending it does not exist. The fact that you cried instead of performing strength means you were honestly considering how to grow and change. Heaven examined your heart and discovered strength where you saw weakness. When you thought everyone had become tired of you, heaven discovered loyalty. It found humility where pride could have developed. Even after you were wounded, it discovered compassion. Spiritually, you are rare. Take a moment and allow that truth to settle within you. Right now, I want you to complete something simple that carries spiritual weight. Place one word in the comments. You need only one word to accept this truth and make it personal, not as a meaningless habit. Type Amen to show your agreement with this revelation. As you type it, Imagine yourself agreeing with what heaven declares about your true identity. You are not merely wounded. You have not been forgotten. Spiritually, you are rare. Let your amen rise as a declaration that you will never view yourself in the same way again. Spiritually, you are extremely rare. You believed you were weak. You are rare because you continued without allowing hardship to make your heart hard. You are rare because you endured suffering without becoming cruel. You are rare because you survived the test without completely abandoning faith. Many people can praise me when circumstances are favorable. Many can speak boldly when blessings are visible. But when comfort disappears, silence continues for too long, or disappointment cuts deeply, many people withdraw. You did not completely withdraw. Even when shock caused you to step backward, you never abandoned me entirely. The enemy witnessed your tears and assumed you had lost. Heaven witnessed those same tears and recognized your strength. The enemy believed pressure would permanently destroy you, but pressure exposed what you were capable of carrying. You did not recognize how much wiser you became. Small details you previously overlooked began becoming noticeable. You became more sensitive to what was false. You started trusting my gentle promptings more than the loud voices surrounding you. That growth occurred in private places. You did not realize how deeply humility developed in you. Previously, you believed you had to raise your voice to defend yourself. But this season taught you silence. You learned that your reputation could be trusted into my hands. That is real strength. You did not realize how compassion increased after your pain. You learned to understand people walking through hardship. You became less judgmental and more gentle. That is spiritual maturity. My beloved child, heaven searched your heart and discovered something unusual, not perfection, not flawless behavior. It discovered a spirit that refused to disconnect completely, a heart that repeatedly returned, a soul that never surrendered forever. You believed you were weak. Spiritually, you are rare. Now that this truth has been uncovered, everything changes, because rare things carry great value. Rare things are trusted with greater responsibility. Rare things are protected carefully. What you endured could have made you bitter. It could have caused you to shut down. Yet even while wrestling with doubt, you continued reaching for me. That is why I say it again. You left me speechless. Not because I was unaware of your capability, but because witnessing it unfold beneath pressure was beautiful. You are stronger than you realize. You carry more depth than you understand. You are better prepared than you know. You are ready. Now that this truth has been exposed, you must change the way you see yourself. Stop describing yourself as weak. Stop declaring that you are powerless. Stop believing that you are spiritually behind. You are rare. You continued. You remained. You transformed in ways you could not observe. And heaven witnessed all of it. My beloved child, I will now explain why this truth remained hidden from you until today. You wondered why I did not speak sooner. You questioned why I allowed you to live with uncertainty. You wondered why some revelations remained concealed while you searched desperately for answers. You assumed I was silent because I was distant. You believed I withheld truth because you were not worthy. But the reality is deeper and filled with care. Timing matters in revelation. Some truths bring healing, while other truths can overwhelm a person who is not prepared. Some revelations strengthen, while others enlarge responsibility. If I had revealed this truth about you too early before the shaping, stretching, and silent battles, it would not have strengthened you the way it does now. It could have fed pride. It could have produced fear. It could have distracted you from the steps you still needed to take. If I had revealed from the beginning how unusual you are, how deep your spirit runs, and how much responsibility your life carries. You may not have understood. You might have attempted to perform instead of surrendering. You could have pursued praise instead of growth. You might have started protecting an identity you were not mature enough to carry. Pride can appear through small things, my child. It does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. When affirmation arrives prematurely, pride can slowly develop. If I had told you before humility had grown, you might have believed you were superior to other people. You might have used comparison rather than compassion, and that would have injured your spirit more severely than anything else. Fear could also have interfered. If I had shown you this truth before courage formed, you might have retreated. You might have declared, "This cannot be me." Responsibility may have overwhelmed you and pushed you back into fear. You may have doubted your ability to carry what I placed upon you. That is why I prepared your heart first. Preparation always comes before revelation. I had to establish stability within you. It was important for you to experience weakness and dependence. You needed to understand that the strength working through you comes from me, not merely from yourself. Before exposure, the foundation had to be tested. Exposure without preparation can become destructive. When pressure rests upon a structure that has not been properly established, the structure collapses. While you believed nothing was happening, I was quietly building your inner strength. I was deepening your humility, testing your patience, and sharpening your discernment. A great deal of construction was occurring. You thought the test was only measuring how long you could endure, but it was also measuring your readiness. Readiness to carry truth without distorting it. Readiness to receive affirmation without arrogance. Readiness to answer the calling without panic. My silence protected you. This is what you must understand. My silence protected you. I did not publicly affirm you immediately because I wanted to shield you from outside pressure you were not prepared to handle. When I withheld the full picture, I protected you from attention that might have distracted you. When certain things remained hidden, it was for the sake of your growth. Sometimes you felt forgotten, but you were being formed. Sometimes you believed you were ignored, but you were developing privately. Growth formed in silence is stronger than growth produced beneath applause. I waited because you were not prepared to hear this truth earlier. Not because you lacked value, but because you lacked readiness. Revelation requires maturity. Identity requires stability. Calling requires humility. You see, revelation changes how you move. Once you understand who you are, your choices change. Your standards increase. Compromise becomes more difficult. Responsibility becomes clearer. If that transformation had happened before your character was prepared, the weight might have overwhelmed you. Before understanding capacity, you needed to experience limitation. Before appreciating timing, you needed to encounter delay. Before recognizing strength, you needed to understand weakness. That order was intentional. Before telling you who you truly are, I needed to remove certain dependencies. I had to break your dependence upon validation. I had to remove the habit of waiting for approval before obeying. I had to separate you from attachments that would have pulled you backward after you attempted to move forward. If I had revealed this truth too early, you might have tried to prove it instead of living it. You may have attempted to convince people instead of quietly walking within it. You might have turned your identity into a performance. That was never my intention. Identity in me does not need noise. It remains steady. It does not require constant defense. It does not need endless affirmation. Your heart needed to become still enough to receive this truth without distortion. Your spirit had to become gentle enough to carry it without pride. Your mind needed to become strong enough to believe it without fear. So I waited. I waited while you cried. I waited while you doubted. I waited while you struggled. Not because I was unconcerned, but because I was paying careful attention. I was waiting for the moment when your strength and humility would balance one another, when your dependence upon me would outweigh your hunger for attention, when your faith would become strong enough to carry responsibility. That moment is now. You are not the same person you were at the beginning of this season. You are more stable. You are less reactive. You possess greater discernment. You understand your need for me more clearly. Because of that maturity, this truth can now be revealed safely. Silence protected you from premature exposure. Delay protected you from rising before maturity. Hidden seasons protected you from building upon unstable foundations. My beloved child, understand that revelation is never withheld to injure you. It is timed to strengthen you. God's timing is beautiful. There is wisdom within gradual revelation. If I had displayed everything at once, you would not have appreciated the journey. If I had announced your identity before testing you, you might have doubted me when difficulty arrived. But now you have endured struggle, growth, and maturity. Now you can see the truth and recognize it as real. I waited because you were not ready before. But now you are ready. Your humility now keeps you grounded. Your endurance now supports you. Your wisdom now protects you. Your faith now steadies you. This truth will not merely make you feel good. It will anchor you. It will not overwhelm you. It will align you. Silence was not absence. It was preparation. Delay was not rejection. It was protection. Waiting was not punishment. It was positioning. Now the veil has finally lifted because your heart can hold what is being revealed. This message is approaching something deeply important, something requiring your complete attention. Silence is no longer covering your life. The hidden season has fulfilled its purpose. I need you to respond to what is happening now. Write, "I am ready" in the comments. Do not wait until you feel perfectly prepared or until every part of your life is organized. Right now, exactly as you are, write, "I am ready." This is your declaration to heaven that you will no longer hide your identity. My beloved child, as you moved through your silent season, you must now understand something that was occurring beneath the surface. The enemy attempted to hide this truth about you. He recognized what was happening before you did. Even while you remained unaware, he understood the spiritual weight of what I placed inside you. Because he could not remove what I planted, he attempted to distort it. Because he could not erase your identity, he tried to convince you that you were someone else. There was quiet spiritual opposition operating against you. It was not always dramatic. It was not always loud. Sometimes it appeared as subtle discouragement. Sometimes it entered through thoughts that sounded like your own. At other times, it came through the words spoken by people around you. But all of it was designed to alter the way you perceived yourself. The enemy knew that if you ever fully understood who you are in me, your behavior would change. Your speech would change. You would stop making yourself smaller. You would stop apologizing for existing. You would stop accepting less than what I desire for you. That would weaken his control over your mind. So he worked in advance. He planted lies about your value. You are not enough, he whispered. He repeated your mistakes until they felt permanent. He replayed your failures again and again. He enlarged your weaknesses and minimized your progress. He wanted you to look into the mirror and see nothing unusual, strong, or valuable. There were moments when you believed him. There were seasons when his lies seemed louder than my voice. You believed you were behind everyone else. You believed you lacked something that others naturally possessed. You assumed your struggles proved that you were less intelligent, less chosen, or less valuable than others. Comparison became one of his strongest weapons. He placed people before you who appeared further ahead. He showed you their success, confidence, and recognition. Slowly, comparison weakened your confidence. You began measuring yourself by timelines that were never assigned to you. You judged your progress according to standards that were never intended for your life. Comparison distracted you from your personal growth. It caused you to forget how far you had already traveled. It blinded you to your endurance. It convinced you that you were failing simply because your movement looked different from someone else's. But you were never called to become another person. You were called to become the person I created you to be. The attacks were deliberate. They had a target. Discouragement increased as you approached breakthrough. Doubt grew stronger as you moved deeper. Temptation intensified as your discipline increased. These patterns were not accidental. They were attempts to make you question your identity before certainty arrived. Thoughts entered your mind that seemed unusual but believable. You are not special. You will never recover. You are too damaged. You are too late. Those thoughts were not truth. They were seeds planted in the hope that they would take root. But here is what the enemy failed to expect. Your spirit refused to fully accept those lies. You wrestled with them. You felt their weight. They troubled your heart. But you never completely agreed with them. That resistance proved that your spirit remained alive to truth. The enemy attempted to hide your identity through disappointment. He tried using pain to rewrite your story. He attempted to define you permanently through past mistakes. He wanted your hardship to convince you that I had forgotten you. But truth survived. Your spirit resisted every lie placed against it. Every attempt to destroy your confidence failed in some measure. You may have questioned yourself, but you never completely abandoned faith. You may have questioned your calling, but you never fully severed your connection with me. What I placed inside you cannot be removed. Listen carefully to that declaration. What I placed inside you cannot be removed. Not by failure, rejection, delay, comparison, or spiritual attack. The identity I provide is stable. Circumstances cannot erase it. The enemy cannot rewrite it. Hard seasons cannot destroy it. It may remain hidden for a time. It may become buried beneath sorrow. But it remains whole. The enemy could only attempt distortion. He never possessed the power to erase. The attacks against you were designed to make you question who you are. But questioning does not remove truth. It only challenges you to rediscover it. Even during your weakest moments, something kept pulling you back toward hope. That pull was me. It was truth remaining alive beneath pressure. At times, you nearly accepted the lie that you were ordinary in the worst way, that you possessed nothing meaningful or valuable to offer. But whenever you began settling into that belief, I stirred something else within you. I whispered that you were greater than what you could currently see. The enemy wanted you to forget your strength. He wanted you to focus only on exhaustion. He wanted you to interpret every delay as proof that you were disqualified. But waiting does not cancel design. Pressure does not remove purpose. He also attempted to hide truth beneath shame. Shame concerning past decisions. Shame regarding mistakes. Shame concerning weakness. Shame attempts to silence identity. Shame tries to keep you hidden. Shame prevents you from seeing truth, but I never created you to live under shame. I designed you to walk in freedom. Shame may have approached your door, but it never became the owner of your life. Truth remained strong through every attempt to destroy it. I can sense someone reading this now. You have endured a great deal. You have survived circumstances that might have destroyed someone else. Yet you are still standing, still believing, and still pressing forward. Right now, I want you to celebrate the fact that you survived. As your declaration, type, "I survived," in the comments. Not from pride, but from gratitude. Not as boasting, but as evidence that God remained with you. When you type those words, you are not simply posting a comment. Even before you understood your identity, something stable remained inside you. Something strong remained. Even when you felt weak, something important was still present. Even when you felt unseen, I had already placed it within you. The enemy cannot create anything. He can only distort. He cannot rewrite what I have written. He can only attempt to distract you from it. But distraction does not last forever. You are not the lie spoken over your life. You are not the fear you experience. You are not the comparison designed to make you smaller. What I placed within you cannot be taken away. It may have been tested. It may have been questioned. Others may have doubted it, but it remains. The enemy attempted to conceal this truth because he understands that once you fully accept it, you will rise with confidence that comes from me. You will stop negotiating with fear. You will stop partnering with doubt. You will stop diminishing yourself. That shift changes everything. Understand this completely, my beloved child. Opposition is often evidence of value. The intensity of the attack revealed the importance of what you carry. The pressure was not meaningless. It was connected to your potential. But truth survived because I preserved it. It remained beneath the surface, waiting for the correct moment to emerge. That moment has arrived. You were never removed. You were never discarded. You were never reduced to your worst season. What I placed inside you cannot be taken away. It is still present. It is still alive. You must also understand something deeply important. Remaining aligned with God's voice is connected to what He is currently doing in your life. This message may feel as if heaven is speaking directly into your circumstances. If so, I want you to take a prophetic step now. Subscribe to this channel, not as a casual afterthought, but as a declaration that you are aligning yourself with God's prophetic promises for your life. Every subscription connects with your spiritual journey. Turning on notifications is like telling God, I am prepared to hear what you are saying. Do it now. Keep me aligned with what heaven is releasing. This truth is stronger than every lie that attempted to silence it. My beloved child, I must now speak directly and firmly to your spirit. What I am about to say is not humorous, casual, or something you should ignore. You were chosen differently, not set apart through pride, not separated through arrogance. You were given a weight that most people will never need to carry. You are not among the 99% who will never receive this revelation. Many people will continue living without ever recognizing what exists inside them. But you were chosen to know, and knowledge requires responsibility. Do not confuse being chosen with having an easy life. Being chosen does not equal comfort. When I say you were selected differently, I am not promising a painless road. I am revealing a calling that demands maturity. That is why you were tested. That is why you were refined. That is why the silence before revelation stretched you so deeply. Many people want to be chosen, but few desire the discipline required by selection. Many want influence without humility. Many desire power without surrender. Many want revelation without accountability. But you were shaped privately because what you carry cannot be entrusted to someone unstable. Your heart responded differently under pressure. You are not among the 99%. You softened while others became hard. Others walked away, but you struggled and remained. While others selected bitterness, you wrestled, yet continued leaning toward forgiveness. That difference is significant. That difference matters. Spiritual authority has been developing quietly within you. You may not fully understand it yet, but it has been forming gradually. Authority does not need noise. It does not boast. It does not demand attention. Spiritual authority remains calm during chaos. It carries peace into storms. It transforms an atmosphere without shouting. That authority developed while you were hidden. It grew while you were not focused upon it. It formed while you worked hard without receiving recognition. You did not need a platform for me to build what I was forming. The silent years were not wasted. The unnoticed seasons were not empty. They were developing authority within you. Now that you know this truth, the way you move must change. Not arrogantly, but with quiet confidence. Not loudly, but with certainty. Not through comparison, but through resting in how I designed you. You were chosen differently. Your path will not resemble anyone else's path. Your timing will not match everyone else's timing. Your assignment will differ from everyone else's assignment. And that is acceptable. It was intentionally designed that way. I can sense the Holy Spirit prompting someone right now to become a breakthrough for another person. Someone has entered your mind who desperately needs this truth. They believe no one remembers them. They feel forgotten. Their journey seems confusing. God wants you to reach toward them. Share this video now, not later, not when you happen to remember. Right now, press the share button and send it to that person. When you share, you are passing along more than content. Your timing will not look like everyone else's. Your assignment will not match anyone else's. That is fine. It was designed to be different. Comparison will attempt to return. It will tell you that you are late, less capable, or that you missed your opportunity. But you were chosen differently. The measurements used for other people do not define you. I evaluated you by another standard. According to that standard, you are not lacking. At this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. Now that truth has been revealed, do not allow the enemy to push you back into fear. After heaven has spoken, do not revive old lies. Spiritually, you are rare. You were chosen differently. What I placed inside you cannot be removed. Begin moving as though you understand this. Not with arrogance, but with peace. Not with pride, but with confidence. Not through striving, but through rest. You have carried unnecessary weight for far too long. You have lived without understanding for too long. Now you know. Now you understand. Now you recognize what was discovered about you. Even I was left speechless because your heart demonstrated the truth in private. What you endured was intended to destroy you. You remained when leaving would have been easier. You developed when growth appeared impossible, and heaven noticed. My beloved child, this truth changes the way you live. From this moment forward, you must stop speaking about yourself the way you once did. Do not call yourself forgotten when I remember you. Do not describe yourself as weak when you survived what many others could not. Do not call yourself ordinary when God has declared you unique. Words carry power. The way you speak about yourself matters. Your words must align with what I revealed. Say this aloud or within your heart. I am spiritually rare. What was intended to break me did not destroy me. I carried faith beneath heavy pressure. I remained when leaving was tempting. Heaven has witnessed my heart. Right now, I want you to complete an action that allows God's favor to flow across your life. While you feel the weight of God's love upon your heart, press the like button. You are not merely doing this for a video. Let it become your spiritual declaration that God is releasing something and you are prepared to receive it. Imagine that every time you press like, you are agreeing with heaven and giving God's favor permission to enter your life. Your like becomes your yes to the blessings He is preparing to release. Do not perform it from routine. Do it now as an act of faith. Declare, I am not ordinary. I have not been forgotten. I am not weak. I was chosen differently. Take time to reflect upon those statements. Allow them to remove the old accusations. Let them silence the lies repeated too many times. The enemy was wrong about your identity. You are who I said you are. I declared that you are rare. I declared that you are faithful. I declared that you are prepared. The silence has ended. The hidden season has fulfilled its assignment. What was formed privately will soon become visible in ways you cannot fully imagine. This does not mean you will become noisy, proud, or aggressive. It means that what exists inside you cannot remain hidden forever. A concealed light will eventually be discovered. A completed foundation will eventually support a structure. Deep roots will eventually produce fruit. You are now entering a season of visibility. Not visibility for your ego, but visibility for my glory. Not visibility to gain approval, but visibility to fulfill my purpose. The same strength that sustained you in hiding will sustain you in public. The humility formed in silence will keep you grounded when attention arrives. People will recognize the steady flame of faith that flickered but refused to disappear. You were not prepared without purpose. You were not refined accidentally. The process happened for a reason. The suffering had purpose. The waiting carried meaning. Now, the purpose is being revealed. Do not fear it. Do not allow fear to convince you that you remain the same person you were before this journey. You are not. You are different now. You have expanded. You have transformed in ways difficult to express through words. But I can measure the change. I believe you are ready. I declare that you are ready. I declare that the truth about you can no longer remain hidden because you can now carry it without shame, fear, or distortion. This is your opportunity, my beloved child. You have been waiting for this change, not merely a change in circumstances, but a transformation in how you understand your identity. Now you know what was discovered within you. Now you understand why silence was required. Now you know that what I placed inside you cannot be removed. Now you recognize that you were selected differently. Move forward within that truth. Allow it to guide your decisions. Let it strengthen your confidence. Allow it to silence every lie attempting to return. My child, you left me speechless. Heaven continues rejoicing over what it discovered inside you. Now live as someone who understands who they are. Before continuing, I want you to complete one more act of faith to seal this truth and declare that God's blessing is entering your life now. Press the like button. This is not about the button itself. It is about the position of your heart. With every like, you release a spiritual declaration saying, I am ready to receive what heaven is releasing. Let your click represent agreement. Allow favor, blessing, and breakthrough to find you. Press it now before you leave. I want to make certain you remember this truth one final time. For a long period, the enemy's objective was to make you forget who you are. But today, heaven reminded you that you have been seen, known, and called rare. Now mark this moment personally. Type Amen once more in the comments. Not mindlessly, not from routine. Type it as a seal, as an official declaration that what God spoke over you today cannot be removed, stolen, or ignored. Carry the weight of this revelation with humility and strength. Become the person I created you to be. You do not need to strive. You do not need to perform. Simply rest within the truth that you are spiritually rare. You continued. This message may be ending, but something new is beginning for you. Your real identity has been revealed. The silence has ended. The hidden season fulfilled its purpose. I want you to take one final step of faith. Subscribe to this channel now if you have not already. This is not simply about pressing a button. It is about spiritual positioning. Subscribing becomes a spiritual way of remaining connected with what God is speaking to your generation. When you subscribe, you declare, "I will not miss what God is saying. I will remain connected to His voice. I will stay aligned with His divine flow." Do it now as your final sign of agreement with everything spoken over you today. Understand that when you subscribe, you align yourself with every promise heaven has prepared for your future. One final truth before you leave. What you receive today is not intended only for you. It is meant for your relatives, your friends, and your spiritual family. God wants to use your story, your obedience, and even the simple act of sharing to help another person experience a powerful transformation. Share this message. Send it to someone who needs to hear that they are spiritually unique. Give it to someone who feels ready to surrender. When you share, something changes within the spiritual realm. The blessing that touched you begins flowing through you. Releasing what you received enlarges the breakthrough. Do not keep it hidden. Share it now. Allow your obedience to become another person's miracle. You remained. You grew. I will always remain with you. Before this powerful story reaches its conclusion, pause and consider this profound truth. You did not discover this message accidentally. This is not random luck. It is a direct message from Archangel Michael to you. He is extending his hand and inviting you into a protected, high-vibrational community where divine abundance is not merely a hope, but a promise. This sacred principle is simple, yet it can transform your entire life. When you follow it, you will not only receive blessings, they will multiply and overflow into every area of your life. By accepting this invitation now, you unlock immediate early access to powerful content and divine insights hidden from the wider world. This is your opportunity to enter a sacred place where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support, and accelerated progress toward your destiny. Do not allow this sacred moment of destiny to pass. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you ensure that you never miss the direct, personalized messages specifically designed to elevate and empower your life. To deepen your connection, the link is available in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who feel called to strengthen this work, a link to purchase the guided ebook is also available. It is completely optional, but your presence, attention, and energy already mean everything. Take the step. Your abundance is waiting.